What is going on, everybody? Ty back again for another Walking Dead review. This one is going to be on The Cell. Last episode was The Well, this one is The Cell. This was a great episode all the way through. Not a whole lot of action, but a whole lot of Negan, and that's what I wanted. This was a very Daryl-centric episode, really breaking down the Savior's home base, very comic book accurate. Fans of the comic book, fans of Negan, you're gonna dig this episode. I think a lot of Dwight stuff that I'm gonna get into, and it was just an all-around great episode. So this is gonna contain spoilers, but this is gonna be, I'm gonna try to keep them. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna keep them to a minimum. If you're watching this, I assume you've seen the episode. So this is The Walking Dead season 7, episode 3, The Cell. So I'm not gonna break it down word for word like I never do, but it starts off with Dwight and him kind of going through his routine. Kind of funny, actually. I mean, he playing some sitcoms. He's watching Who's the Boss on VHS, which I thought was pretty cool. It shows that they've got power. It's funny that power is something that's not that scarce anymore in The Walking Dead. Or it is, technically, but we're seeing it utilized a lot where we didn't for a while. I mean, yeah, Herschel's farm had a generator and stuff, but like, it wasn't as important. Oh, I guess maybe I'm full of crap because Woodbury had power too. But you know what I'm talking about. It's more in your face here. We've got the Kingdom that uses it. We've got the Hilltop. We've got Alexandria, and we've got the Saviors. All that war's coming, guys. And I'm sorry, but I can't. My mind's starting to. It's starting to blow my mind that we're getting to this point in the show. That it's not. I don't want to say that I never thought we would get to this point. It's that I can't believe it's here, and I'm just so excited for my favorite stuff is happening in the comic book, in the show, and it's just getting chills thinking about it. Blows my mind. Blows my freaking mind. So yeah, we see some more stuff with Dwight, and we see these people wearing sweatshirts with letters on them that they're out on the wall, which, you know, they're building up like a defense with the Walkers. The Saviors did that in the books. And it's like these guys, I guess, are out there because they don't want to be Negan, or maybe they're trying to earn points. So they're kind of the guinea pigs, and they're throwing walkers up. The walkers they've got buckets on them, and the people are like trying to place them in position and stuff. Really dangerous crap that the Saviors don't want to do themselves. So we see that. We cut to him making a sandwich out of dog food and bread and giving it to Daryl. We find Daryl, and we saw Daryl half naked, and I can already see all the memes of all the fangirls raging. Oh my God, Daryl is gonna happen. Very dirty guy. But we see them trying to break Daryl. So that goes on, and we see more Negan, you know, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan just kills it as Negan. I mean, every time this guy's on screen, I can't help but smile. I mean, he's a douche. Negan's a douchebag. We all get that, and that's kind of the point. But at the same time, I love him because the actor's so funny. But not only that, is the character's so funny. And the Negan in the show is a very different being, I think, at least right now, from the Negan in the comics. This Negan, I feel like, is way more scary than the Negan in the comics. That could be just, it's translated well on a TV. I don't know, but that's just my opinion. But Jeffrey Dean Morgan killing it all the time as Negan, stealing the show. Pretty much stealing the show anytime he's on screen. And that's unfortunate to people like Daryl and Rick, Andrew Lincoln, and Norman Reedus. Because I think that when you put them three together, I really think Jeffrey Dean Morgan's always just going to steal the show. I think he owns that role better than anyone I've seen in the show roll a character. Next to Andrew Lincoln, Rick Grimes. I mean, it is that perfect. It's so perfect. So, you know, as time goes on, he's trying to break Daryl. Daryl escapes. He gets caught by Negan, and Negan says, "Are we pissing our pants yet?" Cut to commercial, which I thought was fantastic. I guess he says that every single time when he whistles and he walks up, just to try to scare, "Are we pissing our pants yet?" I hope so, because it was so freaking funny. So, you know, Daryl tries to escape. He gets beat up. A lot of stuff from Dwight's ex-wife, Sherry, in this episode. kind of trying to warn Daryl, talk to Daryl about what's going on. You know, you get the hint that something's not right with her. Fans of the comic books, you understand what's going on with Dwight's wife and Dwight and the Iron and stuff. But people who watch the show and don't read the comic books, they don't really understand what's going on. I think though it was really heavily implied before they pretty much outright said it. They did say it later on, but you know, later on, Negan and Dwight meet up, and Negan's like, you know, telling him, you go get some pussy, you can go, you know, you go do all this, and really douchey stuff. And Dwight refuses because he's clearly broken up about his wife. And Negan made a joke about his penis getting bitten and stuff, which I thought was freaking amazing. Like, it's so freaking funny. It's funny. Something with The Walking Dead's never been funny. Not like this. I mean, it's been funny, like, in Season 1, Glenn had a lot of hilarious lines. But this is freaking hilarious. It's Negan. It is Negan. And that's just, again, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Amazing. You know, Dwight refuses, goes out and finds someone who escaped from the Saviors, who... I guess he was friends with Dwight before, part of the Saviors, so he escapes, and Dwight has to bring him back, but Dwight pops him, thinking he kills him, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it, and he didn't kill him, just turned him into a walker. So, Dwight comes back, and this might all be out of order. I didn't take notes, unfortunately this time I didn't, but, so he brings him back. Eventually Dwight brings Daryl, shows Daryl the picture of Glenn. You know, late last season Glenn saw the pictures all over the wall of people's heads getting bashed in, foreshadowing that would eventually happen to him, unfortunately. And then at the end of episode 1, The Day Will Come When You Won't Be, someone, if in the background, not a lot of people caught it, but someone just took a snapshot of him, and he threw it in Daryl's cell, and he broke Daryl. With the constant music playing and the dog meat sandwiches, they broke him. You know, he's sobbing, and I thought it was a really emotional moment, really sad. He's looking at the picture of Glenn and, you know, all that. So eventually he brings Daryl into Negan's room. Or no, I don't think that's Negan's room, but it's a room that, like, he's offering Daryl, basically to say, you know, which I didn't go over this before, like, what's your name? You know, who are you? Because earlier, when Daryl tried to escape, Negan was going down the row of all the men who were around him, and he was asking who their name was, and they're saying, our name is Negan, because we are Negan, kind of a Legion type thing. Fans of the comic books, you'll know that they did that. Basically saying, I am everywhere, I am your god, you know, and it's the way I always interpreted it. You know, I'm just the ruler of everything. Everything is mine. Kind of a god complex type deal. I think so. So he goes over the story with Dwight, actually, unveiling that he's married Dwight's wife. And he took an iron to Dwight's face. You know, that's why it's all burnt up. People who didn't read the comic books were probably always wondering, like, wait, what is that? Like, why is his face all burnt up? I know my fiance's family... They were kind of like, you know, who is that guy? And I had to remind them, oh, it's that guy who Daryl saw in the woods. And they were like, oh my god, that's right. And then they couldn't recognize him because of his burnt face. And then we kind of talked about it. I kind of spoiled it, but they didn't care. But, you know, they go over the story with Dwight, and he asks, what's your name? And in my mind, I thought Daryl was going to say, I am Negan, because there's this really nice theory that I enjoy, that they break Daryl and make him part of the group. And they kind of kill off Dwight, and then Daryl takes over the role of Dwight, essentially. Because in All Out War, the spoilers for the comic books, in All Out War, Negan's men are ordered to put their weapons in zombie gore and guts and blood and stuff, essentially not only hurting them, but infecting them and killing them slowly. And an arrow goes through Rick, and it's infected with zombie guts. Really, probably it's the biggest point in All Out War Part 2, if not All Out War, because it's towards the end. And it was just a big moment for comic book fans. I thought Rick was over with, but a lot of people were wondering if Daryl's going to do that, because this Dwight, at least right now, is to me a completely different character than the Dwight in the comic books. He doesn't seem as hard. He just kind of seems like a prick, like a whiny prick in the show. And I love the actor. I think I've listened to a bunch of podcasts with him, interviews. He's a great guy, but he's just kind of whiny. And maybe you would be in that situation, but like the Dwight I picture in the comic books is more like Daryl. And that's just, I don't know. But it doesn't seem like they're going to do that, actually. It seems like Daryl's going to stay strong, and he's either going to escape, or they're going to break him out, or something. I don't know. I don't want to see Daryl gone for too long. I want to see him out in the field, whether that be part of the Saviors or the survivors, people at Alexandria. We'll see. We'll see. It's all up in the air from here. But then, the episode ends with Dwight going out after he yells at Daryl and stuff. He's like, this is the only way you can get out of this. And Daryl says, like, I'm going to butcher this, but Daryl says, like, I get why you did it. You were thinking about someone else when you did it. But that's exactly why I can't. And he's talking about Glenn. Or probably Maggie. Now that I think about it, Daryl's got to hate himself. We all joke it's Daryl's fault, but it essentially was. Not intentionally, and I don't think anyone's going to blame Daryl. Maybe Maggie. I think that would provide for some really, really, really interesting story arcs. But Daryl's got to hate himself. We know the character Daryl. We understand that he loves his family, his Walker family. And, Glenn and him have been together since the beginning. Even if they didn't really get along that well, they have been together since the beginning of this whole thing. So you gotta really put yourself in his shoes. He probably hates himself, and he broke down and bawled, which I thought, like, again, I'm getting chills thinking about it. Fantastic performance from Norman on that. Really brought the emotion. I thought it was fantastic. But so they lock Daryl up again, and we'll see what happens. But Dwight goes out, looks out, and he sees the man that he shot and killed and turned into a walker earlier in the episode. And like I said, they were arguing about, there's nothing going back. Like, why doesn't everyone stand up to Negan? It's one guy with a baseball bat. And he's kind of right. But, they live like kings, essentially. So, I don't know. I thought the episode was fantastic. Another slow episode, but at the same time, I was on edge the entire time. Daryl escaping, very dark, very bleak, very dirty, grimy episode. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. I thought it was fantastic. Buy it on iTunes if you don't have cable. Watch it. Please, please, please watch the episode. Not that The Walking Dead needs, a lot of support. It's already got it, but it deserves it. It's such a good show. I think every episode, even the bad episodes, deliver, and this was not a bad one. I think the first 3 episodes of the show have been out of this world. Have been just, especially for comic book fans like myself, out of this world because of the accuracy of the comics and just the quality itself and the changes. Like, I'm loving this change with Daryl being a prisoner. Daryl wasn't a character in the comic books, but I'm loving this him and Dwight relationship and stuff. I know there's a lot of people who say there cannot be both of them. If that's true, I hope they kill Dwight, because I think it'd just be stupid at this point to kill Daryl. Dwight can't take Daryl's place. I think at this point, my theory, and we'll talk about this more, but a summary, I think Dwight will leave the Saviors, join Rick's group, and then go on some kind of suicide mission and die. That's my like I said, we'll go into more detail. I'll do some more research and we'll talk about that, but that's kind of my theory at this point, because I don't think Dwight can be the exact Dwight in the comics. I think we got Daryl for that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. The next episode looks freaking phenomenal. Can't wait for Rick and Negan to meet again. Little pig, let me in. I can't wait for all the great quotable Negan lines. It's just gonna be a fantastic episode. So I'm gonna call it here. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Trying to get this Walking Dead thing started up and going. Again, wearing the same T-shirt. It's always clean on Sundays, boy. Follow me on Walker Amino, which I'm gonna post this video on that as well. At I think I am just Tyromy, Tyromy, or it's Tyromy94, Tyromy94. If you don't have it, download Walker's Amino. It's a fantastic social media site just for Walking Dead fans, and they have other things for specific communities, but I obviously have the Walking Dead one, and I'm not endorsed or anything. I use it. I just started today, and I love it. So, yeah, I'm gonna call it here. That's Ty, and I'm peacing out.